place, we knew that there were a handful of elements that needed to come together. We knew that it was going to be a limestone base. We knew that we wanted a stainless steel plate on the front, and we knew that the bronze was going to be fitting over the top of it. So we had to figure out each one as its own element because the different professionals don't work in all three of those mediums. The bronze process was definitely the longest process. Aaron Ebby, the artist who created the sculpt of Janeway's figure, he shipped us a oil-based clay, and we were then able to create a mother mold from that. Then we needed to create a plaster backing. We poured molten wax into the vessel that went around the original sculpt. Once it's cooled, you then take off the mother mold again to create an exact replica of the original sculpt, which in this case now was just out of red wax. That all gets dipped in this liquid ceramic, and then you sprinkle on a silica sand, and you allow that to harden, and then you do it again and again and again, and every time you dip, it gets thicker and thicker. The whole mold is heated in a kiln, and as that mold comes up to temperature, all that wax that's inside leaves those vents. What's left is just the ceramic shell and the hollow area inside where the wax once was. And you've got this perfect vessel for recreating the wax now in metal. You use ingots of bronze, you've got all this molten metal, and once they're brought up to the same temperature together, that bronze then gets poured into the form, filling it from the bottom up. The metal hardens and cools, and that leaves you a real raw casting. The bronze is then cut off of the sprues, and then you sandblast and remove imperfections. And after sandblasted, it should look like an exact replica of the original sculpt. The patina process is a process by which you force oxidation onto a metal by using certain acids, and with the heat, you're able to control that process and get certain colors that we want. We use liver of sulfur, which causes the entire sculpture to turn dark black, because the black is a great way to show the depth in the character. It shows shadow really well. Then you have to prime it and weatherproof it. Once we were able to scratch off some of the black, you heat it up with a massive blowtorch, and we use that to heat up the bronze again, and that removes everything that is absorbed from the moisture in the air. We then applied a wax layer to it and did a few polishing effects, the glint in her eyes, her comm badge, her nails slightly, elements to brighten that metal up even more so. And that really completed the bronze casting side of things. The stone process is a subtractive method. The stone had to come in a single block and was carved down from that. They were able to carve down the main pedestal stone and the base stone by really just cutting an outline around and then carving down some details. We've got this great insignia on the back side of the pedestal for the Federation of Planets, and on the front side of the stone we had to carve in to accept the stainless steel plate that we were going to be attaching. It was cut out with a laser, then it needed to be treated for the elements, so we went with a straight black powder coating that had a little bit of a glitter in it so that it looked like stars reflecting in the sun. So all sides of this thing have some creative element to it that represents Star Trek. Then all the elements were combined together to create one sculpt, and that's really all the components that have come together, and all these different contractors in different areas that have come to do it. Everything has been building up to create this wonderful monument.